Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen Marie and this is Moon Girl Tarot. And today we're going to be talking about law of attraction. Law of attraction is putting something out into the universe, putting the work in and receiving the benefit, the reward for it. And today's story is going to be a little bit different, but it's going to talk about how I use law of attraction and trying to conceive a boy and putting that into action. So this video may not be for everyone, obviously. This is my story in trying to conceive and gender swaying. And what is gender swaying? Gender swaying is trying to influence how the pregnancy is going to turn out, meaning is whether you're going to have a boy or a girl. Hi, hello. So this is what it's for. So we're going to go ahead and go into it. And thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. It's a very sensitive topic. Again, it's not for everybody, but I want to talk about how I used my intuition, law of attraction, diet, healthy exercise, and timing to sway for a boy. Now, I have two girls. I swayed girl. I got two girls, and then I wanted to sway boy. Again, disclaimer, this is not for you. So this is no hate mail, no hate messages. Okay, this is for women who are wanting to expand their families and wanting to have a daughter or wanting to have a son. And that's beautiful, right? So this is my story. So I was having my daughters and I was having a lot of dreams and I was having a lot of feeling. I had the need to my family to extend. I really want a son. I've always seen him. I've always dreamt of him. I've always felt him. As much as I love my daughters, and I do, I love my daughters and they are enough. This has nothing to do. It's not a comparison. It's just a new part of me had my son out there. I knew he was out there. I knew he was going to join the part of our family. And I talked to my husband about it and it was just like, timing was hard. It was a lot of it. It was rolling the dice because, I love my daughters and I necessarily wasn't looking to have another daughter. I wanted to continue on the family, and in our type of situation, our family that's it, the daughters. My husband is the last of his generation. So having a son would hopefully continue on the generation. And of course, you can continue on generations with females, but of course, this is, we're not getting into the politics of that. We're just getting into my personal story and family. And I wanted to grow and have daughters and sons. So I felt law of attraction, the need, the want, the longing of family, the complete of just being there for my son and just seeing my son and what he would look like and what we would talk about, what he would be into, just looking at my daughters and just seeing, just knowing there's just that masculinity. There's just something else out there, So already I was putting that in the universe, planting the seeds, and I'm sure a lot of you women are too, planting the seeds, wanting that daughter, wanting that son, wanting that partner, wanting that child that you're going to provide so much love for. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you sway and whatever happens, you're gonna love that child, and it's just an addition to your family. So I want to get that blanket statement across. Overall, all children are a blessing. It's just taking your power and using that power to get what you want, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with your husband or your spouse, whether you're in the same-sex marriage or not, and just wanting to expand your family. That has nothing to do with it. Politics aside, okay? We're leaving politics and whatever crap in the door. We're talking about love. Love is love, and we're talking about family. So whether you're trying to adopt, sway, or someone's trying to conceive a certain way, this video is for you. Let me go ahead and clear my throat a little bit. So how did I sway boy? I planned out I used a app called, and I'll show you guys. It's actually called Pregnancy app. It's called My Pregnancy app. And I used it to track my periods. I have a big old gap between my daughters and my sons. Between my eldest and my youngest is about 10 years. Between the middle child and my son is about 6 years. So I had about 5 years roughly to track my periods. Now, if you don't have all that time, you just need roughly about a year. You need roughly about a year of repetition of just your cycle, okay? And within that cycle, it's building those healthy habits, is eating that diet to sway boy. So I had a little bit of advantage. Besides being a tarot reader, I worked as a personal trainer. So I was already physically fit and working towards it. But I was working towards more of lifting weights. That's when I started getting into powerlifting and really started building muscle and, using natural testosterone within my body. And I use that for my advantage. Okay. So that's another thing. If you're wanting to sway boy, it's, exercising, and exercising is great if you can exercise. Again, I'm not a diet or physician, so consult your doctor what good exercise for you, but just find a way to build testosterone. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, I'm a mom, my hair is all messed up, whatever. I feel like I look like a woman. I didn't touch a dumbbell. I didn't touch a barbell and immediately turned into a man or started being immediately, masculine. Please do not be afraid of it. That's one thing I want to preach, is that you can exercise, you can lift weights, whether it's a 2-pound dumbbell, a 5-pound dumbbell, or a 45-pound dumbbell. You can lift the weight with you and build that testosterone within your body. And trust me, that testosterone within my body made me feel sexy, made me feel like, gosh, it just brought out the in me. It just made me feel just vivacious and just beautiful, and made me hone into my own body. So it really did help. Okay, so lifting weights. So I started more on a strength program, and the program that I followed, I can write that for you guys. It's pretty basic. Is just basically I was just working on all body. I did a body split. So some days I was working on my legs, my back, meaning, I would, either squat or a deadlift or do some kind of combination. And there's modifications for everything. By all means, you don't have to be a crazy power lifter. I started off very, very small. I started bench pressing just the bar and barely even went up for that, throughout my pregnancy, until my doctor told me, hey, no more. So I started doing that. So I started knowing, like, okay, I need to get my body in the right shape, not only for pregnancy, but to sway for, males. So I started a weightlifting program, focusing more on powerlifting because that's what I enjoy, and to build the strength, to build the testosterone, to get my body healthy. And another thing was to eat a certain way, and I ate meat, ate a lot more protein, which helped with my weight training. So every time after my post-workout meal would consist of something very simple, ladies. Could be like a piece of wheat toast with peanut butter, something like that, very small, that good healthy fat, good protein. And I would follow it with the protein shake. I stayed away from, pre-workouts, anything artificial like that. My pre-workout was like caffeine, was coffee, like a breakfast blend, because I like caffeine. I'm naturally caffeinated, whatever. So I knew slowly I would have to go down on that, but I still kept that in my diet. Okay. I still had that caffeine in me, and helped me kind of build, like my pre-workout testosterone. So I did that. I had a lot of whole grains. Another thing that I did was my supplements. I increased my zinc. I took zinc. I took primrose oil. Okay. I started taking more primrose oil 2 months prior, probably about 3 months prior, if not close to 2 months before we actually started to conceive, to practice to have sex, to conceive him. So, and practicing on those certain days, and I'll get to that part too. So the first part is diet. For myself, for the female self, is just, exercise and diet, making sure that I had that weight training, that I had that protein back in me. Milk, dairy, for some reason, they say either male or female, but I had a lot of that. I had a lot of pastas. I stayed away a lot from red, things that inflammation. I stayed away from red sauces, tomatoes, stuff like that, and focused more on like white cheeses and dairy and ice cream and stuff, which was hard and which was new for me. So it was more like almond milk and stuff like that. It was just another way I could get those healthy fats, those brain healthy fats, those omegas, that vitamin D. Another thing is that naturally sunbathe. So just like go outside, suntan lotion, whatever, be smart, be protective. Don't go out there and cook like a lobster. But I went out there and got natural vitamin D, preparing my body, just being healthy, positive mentally, just preparing for that. I prepared my back, did a lot of back exercises because pregnancy, I knew even myself, I've always was bedridden. So I always made sure that I had a strong back. So again, a lot of that. So primrose oil, vitamin zinc, really helped my immune system. But for something with that, it just sways males for some reason. Okay. Another thing that I did was I took fish oil. I took fish oil, not as much as I usually would do, but like a daily supplement. I took it every other day, if that made sense, just to kind of make sure that my vitamin D was strong. Again, natural vitamin D, stuff in the brain, everything else, just swaying that way, just getting my diet, just building that testosterone. Okay. And then when it came to actual sex and pleasure, it was more focused on me. It was more focused on having an orgasm and getting that fulfillment and opening myself up. When you open yourself up, as they say, the sperm is able to travel and get to where you need. So just kind of preparing my body in that sense for that. So my husband, male, your spouse, what they're going to do and what he did is, as well as himself, was prepare his body. Is he started working out and he did a strength workout. Now he isn't normally a runner. He loves cardio, loves to bike, loves to run, and he had to switch up. So it was more strength training and more so of that, just building that testosterone. And he had a lot of zinc, increased in zinc. He had a multivitamin. He had increased in vitamin C. Zinc, I want to say, was like the big like number one in both of our diets, is that we both had was vitamin zinc, vitamin D, and just building that testosterone naturally within our bodies. Okay. Another thing that he had to do was, build up that testosterone, that sperm, meaning not ejaculate. And it was crazy seeing him walking around like all He-Man, but he had to hold it back. He had to hold it up, naturally build testosterone. And right before, in the act, he would drink coffee and it would help, the sperm go out, shoot a little bit further, as they would say, but kind of get them energized in himself. It was crazy. It was just seeing him. I just remember that time. And my husband is a masculine male. By all means, he's one of those like you would consider a macho man, whatever. But shoot, when we started actually swaying for a boy and increasing his testosterone naturally, I mean, I have to admit, I probably didn't like him too much. He was a little rough around the edges, a little grumpy in a sense. I really got the sense of men in a way, like they have two brains. Obviously, they think separately. It was pretty witness to that. It was kind of funny. But on his side, so on your partner's side, that's what he was doing. It was not ejaculating very often, maybe once a week, if that. Just naturally building up that testosterone. And whenever he was to ejaculate, since it was just once a week, then it having a lot more. So, without going into further detail with that. So we were doing that for about 3 months before we decided to really okay, we are going to, this is the pinpoint day, taking the diet, the exercise, and putting it into action. So law of attraction, here we go back into it. So here I am, I'm working out. Here he is, he's working out, and we're both having this diet and exercise, and we're having this overall plan, this overall goal. And at the end of the night, we're looking at each other and we're thinking this is our family. This is what we're working towards. We really want, please universe, we want a son. We want to give, our daughters a brother. We want to have our family complete. We want our trio. This is something that we desired and that we put out in the universe. Like, we feel like we're doing the right things. I'm trying to make myself healthy. We expanded our car. We expanded our home. Like, we did everything that we wanted to do. Like, we were very serious about expanding the longevity of our family. And every night while we were working out or just going to the gym or cooking dinner for each other or reminding each other to take the supplements, it was just, an act of love, of just saying, this is our goal. This is our love. This is what we want. And even our daughters were aware that we were trying to expand our family. So it was a great talking tool of, the birds and the bees and family and love and how to bring those two together when two people love each other. So it was a great opportunity for our family. It was a great time. So it was all this love and all this abundance that we were creating in our home and that we were putting out there in the universe to receive, to get the abundance. Because we knew no matter what, whatever happened, whether it said girl or boy, we wanted boy. If it said girl again, then that's what the universe wanted for us. That was the overall plan. And that's without getting religious. I mean, you can take, God, you can take universe, you can take whatever you believe in. And I want you to take God. I want you to take the universe, spirituality, religion, whatever you believe in. And that's the part of it. That's taking that energy and that positivity and putting it out there into what you believe in to get it back, to have the universe reward you, to get that abundance and live that beautiful life. Okay. And I love it. And I want to show you guys proof. I am proof. I'm not bullshitting you at all. And I'm in this group trying to conceive gender swaying. And this video is for this group. And I'm putting this out here publicly. So anybody who is trying to conceive or just trying to conceive in general, male or female, hopefully these tips help you. But I just searched my name in here, and we're going to go into the date, November 11th, 2016. Yay, I'm so excited. Send blue dust my way. We got our first try. So right there, as you can see, is my first, I get pregnant. And step 3, taking all that diet, exercise, and that law of attraction and using your ovulation date to actually implement the action, okay? So all that information that I said and did, right? My husband and I, we did the exercise, we did the diet. He was only releasing himself once a week, preparing his body for the actual date. And it just happened to be Halloween night. How funny. We love it. It just felt perfect. So when it comes to ovulation, when the egg is released, that is the perfect time to have a boy. If you're trying to conceive a girl, if your egg is going to release on the 5th of the month, you want to try to conceive on the 1st, if that is a girl. For myself, that was trying to conceive a boy, if my egg was releasing on the 5th, I was trying to conceive that morning on the 5th, if that makes sense. So there's your clear-cut answer for you guys. Besides diet, besides exercise, when to actually try to conceive when your egg is being released. And that's when knowing your periods and your cycles come in handy, and jotting that information down and knowing your body is you can take, your family and everything into action. So if you're trying to conceive a boy, you want to try to conceive and do the action when your body is actually releasing the egg. If you're trying to conceive a girl, you're going to try to conceive. You're going to do the action days before that your body releases the egg, because sperm lasts up to 5 days, as they say. So, and the male sperm, they shoot out quickly and they die off quickly, and the females stay there longer. So that's why if you're trying to conceive a female, then you want to try days prior then you actually release your egg. And male, you want to try the day of released egg. So that's what we did. So my date said that my body was going to release the egg on October 31st. So that morning, that's what we decided to do. And before, we conceived the act, he had a huge cup of espresso. That's another thing that we read about, male or female. honestly, excuse me, male, because the males, are faster, but they die off quicker. So to use caffeine, he was a caveman. He was ready to go. And then, as you can see there, we tried to conceive October 31st, November 11th. I did my pregnancy test. It said I was pregnant. There it is right there. And all those, y'all are awesome. Congrats here. And here we go. January 10th, 2017. Remember when I asked for Swain for a boy? Well, I did my research. Hubby and I tried. Today I find out I am having a boy, a healthy baby boy. This is our first son. I'm feeling so blessed. I've always dreamed of having a son. I almost didn't try at all, but I prayed on it and I knew in my gut that my son was out there. God's blessing and science for the win. This is me right here with that date. Okay, there's my post. So there's proof right there for you guys. I don't know. I get tears because it is real. And if you're like me and if you were trying to conceive and you have this vision of your family, do not give up on it, because that's the universe telling you that you can achieve it. Goals don't work unless you do. And I know that you're working hard, and I know that you're working hard for your family, and your husband's working hard, and your spouse is working hard. So I hope this video has helped you. I hope y'all like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Please share it with your friends, and let me know if this helps you, if this works for you. Okay, guys? I'll talk to you soon, and keep in touch. Bye.